Welcome back to another episode of Alpha Technologies podcasts. I'm Ashwin Kumar, the Global Product Manager at Alpha Technologies. Today's episode is actually a very special one. We are joined by Peter Boogard, who is one of the original developers of Eclipse and now our strategic advisor and engineering manager managing the enterprise roadmap. So we'll be discussing where enterprise is headed, what you can expect in Enterprise 7.0 and beyond. So Peter, welcome.
Thanks, Ashwin. Excited to share what's next.
Of course. Peter, you've been part of this software journey from Eclipse days to now. Before we look ahead, how do you see the evolution of lab software from your vantage point?
Well, we started out mostly in in rubber test labs almost 40 years ago. The process of mixing rubber, even today, is still not fully under control. So a lot of testing is needed on a batch before it can be released for further processing. At the time, back in the 80s, the personal computer was still very new, but our customers already saw the advantage of like computer-aided testing. As it would provide consistency in the calculations rather than reading things off a plotter, basically, with the added benefit of showing trends and keeping track of all the data. The strength of the Eclipse software at the time was that even in the DOS mode, the original version was Microsoft DOS, we showed a consistent user interface to operators. For all the different instruments we connected in a lab. And later, when we moved into a Windows version, we kept that consistency while adding support, for more instruments. We started even collecting data from like mixing type instruments.
Oh.
In the Windows version, it was actually much easier to provide nice-looking reports, but it was still very much hard-coded what a report would look like with dozens of options to turn, sections on or off, basically. So when we started the enterprise product in the early 2000s, that was one of the key things to provide, more customization of reports. Enterprise was also based, on the latest technologies of the time, using SQL Server rather than DBase 3, what was the database in Eclipse. And, an application that would run in your web browser was pretty new at the time. To manage, test methods, set your limits, review your data, etc. And then also the reports were run from what we call now the online manager, basically. Over the past 20 years, we've added many more aids to customers, automatically scheduling tests using production orders, R&D work orders, compound formulation management, applying business rules, exchange of data with other business systems. And today, enterprise is like the workhorse in thousands of rubber labs across the world.
Yeah, I can imagine with all these features being added on, I'm sure it has been a continuous feedback loop with our customers, our product, our development team, and that enterprise is basically a result of all of our hard work, I would say, right?
Yeah. And I've seen many customers from the Eclipse era at some point switch over to enterprise. Eclipse was probably around for another 10, 15 years. I hear that there's still some people using it, but the people that did switch over were essentially very happy with it. The fact that their business keeps running consistently and the fact that after almost 40 years, we're still there to support them.
Of course.
We're actually longer around with our software than the modern version of the internet. For a moment, I thought longer than Microsoft Word, but actually Microsoft Word was sort of like the same time as the Eclipse started.
Yeah, and I think the next portion of the podcast is one that I'm sure everyone's excited about. Let's jump straight into it. Enterprise 7.
Yep.
What can our customers expect in this upcoming release?
Yes. It's safe to say that the Eclipse software was around for roughly 20 years before we followed up with Enterprise, now also around 20 years old. Enterprise 7 is a new development built from scratch based on the latest technology. Again, and we expect it to run for at least another 20 years. It will still hook up all your instruments, just like before, produce pass-fail decisions, reports. It will still simplify the day-to-day workflow in the labs. But we're using a technology now that allows for new technology that is common already in many other industries. Enterprise 7 will be more secure, yet without the hassle. Not necessarily your username and password, but you're logged into your computer, and just like your Office and your Teams work, you log automatically into your enterprise program. The new online manager will still run in a browser, so that's the same. But rather than it was all controlled by a server, this is all now client-side tools basically. So all of the application essentially runs on the user's computer, which means that the server is not like used very very much.
Interesting.
Yep. The user interface, it's more modern. People say the blue bars at the top or whatever. We still have tried to make the look sort of the same for an easy transition from 6 to 7.
Of course.
But the technology that we use make it easy to try out new UI interfaces as well without breaking any of the underlying code basically. We're using what we call RESTful API technology between the client and the server, which can potentially also be used by our customers, third-party apps, to get access to the database directly. So we not want our customers anymore to make a straight connection with the database, but go through the API so that nothing can be done in the wrong way.
Of course.
And this is more or less the technology that would easily flow into a cloud if we at some point get into can we do this in the cloud? Yes, at some point we can move that into the cloud. Similar technology. We have improved on a lot of design decisions, where we say at some point, gosh, we should have done that better. Now was the time to say, let's do it better. That's why the database structure is not significantly different, but on a number of places we've really improved the database design. This will allow us more flexibility with identifying samples, materials, etc., etc. It will be actually much easier, for example, to exchange data between multiple plants in one larger organization. Something that a lot of plants struggle with right now. It will be easy as passing on a file or submitting a file to their system. We're planning for dashboards, real-time SPC, business intelligence, even AI. Wouldn't it be nice when a batch fails that the program suggests what to do with it?
Of course.
Less scrap and faster decisions.
Of course.
And for Workbench, we're planning some differences as well. We're talking about no installation connections with your instrument. And it can be easily updated without interrupting any of the lab time.
That actually sounds really amazing. And the future's AI is what everyone's saying. So I'm sure our Enterprise 7 is AI ready and cloud ready for the platform. Other than, you touched base a little bit on the UI aspect of it, but as a customer, what would be my immediate impact if I switch to this platform, right? It might look easy on the front end, but it looks like it's a powerhouse on the back end.
Yeah, the new screens, we basically, in 7, we went and let's make the screens look as closely as possible to 6. Not because we like it so much, but for the ease of integration, switching from 6 to 7, basically. 6 is the current version of Enterprise.
Of course.
But still, we've given it a modern look. It adapts easily with your screen size. So if you make the screen smaller, the application will still be looking visible. It'll be easier to adapt to cell phones and tablets and that kind of stuff. But the way we designed it, it will be much easier for us as well to roll out a new look without losing functionality, different menus. For example, instead of having the menu on the top, we put the menu on the side. A lot of people expect that nowadays,
Of course.
Vertical
We are
space is
used to
expensive.
using phones quite often, and
Yep.
I think it kind of translates into usability and user experience directly in terms of customer experience.
So apart from menus, we're thinking of things like drag and drop. What in a regular application is pretty normal. In a web application, it's still a little bit tricky.
Of course.
Real-time curves.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening right now at instrument 3 in the lab, and you follow the curves at some point just as it happens. We've interviewed many customers about what is most important for them. Ease of use came out as like one of the most asked features. And we will keep working with our customers to streamline the applications.
And I think that's a good segue towards what the customer needs and what we are actually developing in-house, right? So let's switch to that.
Mm-hmm.
Are customers actually involved in shaping these updates, and how does their feedback impact this?
Absolutely. We've collected over the years a lot of requests that we've often not been able to honor because of the way the current application was built. But when you get a chance to do a new design from scratch, even though you're trying to mimic the previous version, you can take all these things into account. So we're looking at all of these requests again as we continue to develop the new version.
Of course. From your perspective, why should customers be excited about this release?
It's knowing that we still be there for them for the next decades.
Of course.
We've been there for 4 and we'll be there again. The rubber industry tends to be slow compared to other industries. Dashboards, AI, all of that will help in seeing how effective your instruments operate, how well you produce your rubber, and how your plant compares to sister plants. So
Of course.
it will be easier to see, work with your data while still much more secure. And, the technology that we're on right now will allow us to move and add those things that people have asked for a long time.
Absolutely. And I think we'll certainly be collecting more feedback from the customers and be reiterating what we're doing. And I'm certain that our customer feedback is going to be extremely crucial. On that topic, I would like to let our customers know that we'll be opening our beta testing soon for Enterprise 7. It should come in the next couple of months. We have active plans going on. So you should see some updates coming into your email, and always be on a lookout on our website. So thank you so much, Peter. I think this was a good sneak peek into what we have in store. We've with our very huge product roadmap for enterprise and a lot of milestones that we've been planning. I think it's an exciting news, and we are positive about taking this to the next step. Well, Enterprise 7 isn't just another update. It's a leap forward. For those interested in early access, please be on the lookout for our beta program, which should be out soon in the next couple of months. Peter, again, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
My name is Ashwin Kumar, and I'll see you all in the next episode.